Yeah, I'm sorry, there's people who've been waiting. We'll come back, but I just want to make sure everyone who wants to talk once gets a chance, and then we'll come back. Okay. Yes, sir.
Hi, Luke. As far as it appears, and my father was a Teamster. I never majored in econ. I am ignorant and biased. But me and many people are incredibly frustrated right now. I know it's not your fault, but what it looks like, and a lot of people feared this when the administration was coming in, and now we're seeing it, and that's why I think we're worried about the future. Downtown particularly it's corporate right now. It's becoming corporate capitalism. It's the dreaded buzzword gentrification. And with that, profits are put above people. The one example I will use, and I brought this up with you at the Infinity Hall event in February, is the drug epidemic. And no one's talking about it. You said that you in Connecticut could not fund anything for it. And as the current has said, Connecticut's not. And Connecticut is, to the outside, to New England, looking like an embarrassment for not doing it. Rhode Island didn't have money in its budget for it. But people are dying every day. And when people are dying, that's hospital bills, that's people that can't work. And we're in a broken system where they're not getting treated right. They aren't getting treated right. And even if we cannot properly fund it, why can't we talk about it? It's as if we're so worried that the sky is falling, and it is, but that's down the line, you know, and I know we're thinking in short term, but what about the ground that is literally and symbolically crumbling beneath us, our citizens, and many, you know, not just on the streets, in the suburbs. I know you've spent some time in Greenwich. It's hitting Greenwich, it's hitting everywhere, and unfortunately, Hartford is becoming a nexus for good stuff, for money, for funding, for interest, but for outsiders. Also, for the drug network. I know even the school I went to, not to say any libel, I know even Trinity College, they are involved in a lot, and there's just this membrane that we're not revealing because I don't think we have the money to incentivize change. But if we don't, and if a year down the line people look at how much time we all spent arguing over these minute things, and we weren't able to take action about quality of life stuff, this is a public health epidemic, and I haven't seen anyone from City Hall really talk about it. I know it's really bad public relations, but I feel like if we accept it and deal with it, then we'll start to get the help we need. If not, I think we risk becoming an island, and I know you don't want that. I know no one here wants that. So what can we do together and with the budget to at least show that we're trying, that we see it? Because it's not just about the profits, it's about the day-to-day lives. I think people would rather be broke but happy and have good quality of life than to have a GDP that's high, but like everyone's suffering that's been through decades of disenfranchised suffering.
Look, the opioid epidemic is real, it's huge, it's deadly, and it's not just measured in the deaths, it's also measured in the lives and the families that are devastated just by the addiction. So you're absolutely right. You know, to the extent we can, I do talk about it. I mean, I've talked a lot with, first of all, our health director, who spent a lot of time on it, knew Gary Rule, Dr. Gary Rule. This is something he is focused on. We talked in partnership with the state and also federal levels as well. I've talked with our senators about it. You know, Chris Murphy, Dick Blumenthal. Chris Murphy today was actually, I think this morning, I lose track of time, but I think this morning he was at a conference on the national level arguing for funding at the national level, that this Congress up there, the Republican-controlled Congress, has refused to appropriate any money. So some of the problems are that, I don't want to just pass the buck, but some of the problems are that the federal government got out of the business of doing things that it did for decades. Our federal government has set the taxes, the income tax, which is a lot less regressive, you know, much more progressive than our property tax. They set the income taxes at the lowest level they've been in a long, long time. They're not sending money back down to states and local government. They're not supporting education the way they used to. They're not supporting youth employment the way they used to. They're not supporting harm reduction and drug treatment the way they used to. So I think we need a bigger change in our country to address some of these problems. And I do talk about it. I do argue for it. But we don't have money. And so we can't cure it all on our own. What we can do is try to at least deal with the crisis we face so that we can keep our city operating. We can, now I'm not saying police are the best way to deal with addiction. I don't think that at all. But at the same time, as you said, we are a center of the heroin trade regionally. The lot of heroin that moves through here goes up to the rest of New England. And we need to make sure that our police force has the ability to deal with that. Sometimes that means equipping them with technology that helps them be more effective and more efficient at getting some of the traffickers off the street. It may mean that, we're training them in harm reduction so that they're helping to divert the folks that they're dealing with rather than just lock them up. Those are all things that we can do. But to do that, we need to make sure that we are able to deliver the basic city services that we're obligated to deliver, and that's why we need to face this crisis right now.